it's the title of it is "What kind of products would we have in the future?" and it's been given by Renard from INRA.
Thank you. So I'm going to talk to you today, I hope fairly shortly, about what kind of processed products we have in the future. Mostly I will be addressing the products which we have in ISAFRUIT, but I will also speak about some other products and some other processes. What kind of new products have we looked at in ISAFRUIT? We have looked at improved and new juices, new dry products, new fruit-ready desserts, and also phytocomponent extracts. And why should we have interest for new products? New products, from a commercial point of view, they are going to be quite risky. But when there are new products, also in the food market, new products can have a higher share of the value of what the consumers want to buy, even though very few, most of the new products do not survive for more than 3 years. So it's risky, but it can be worthwhile. So what can make the success of a new product? What do we think about if we are going to go for a new product? We have to look at it from the consumer side. So the consumer says that what they want in a product, that it is tasty, that it's going to be tasty the next time they buy it. But they also will be concerned with appearance, with price, with health value, with origin. And what we have seen within ISAFRUIT is that the circumstances when the consumers eat will mean that sometimes, like for snacking, convenience is going to be a major determinant. If we think about processed fruits, there has been growth in the markets for processed fruits. The juices in particular have been a success story for decades in Europe with a very marked growth, and I will show it in the next slide. Then what we have also seen as a success story in the last few years is fresh cut. But however, fresh cut has mostly worked for green leafy vegetables. For fruit, it's much more tricky to make. There's much more technical difficulties, and you have to have the logistics very good, because fresh cut fruits still have, and I believe will continue to have, a very short shelf life. 7 to 8 days at 0 to 5 degrees, as Renard said this morning. This is a very large constraint on the logistic chains and on the commercialization. Then we have stabilized fruit products like purees and desserts. These have a more extensive processing, but they have one great advantage, which is that they are stable and can be kept on the shelf without a fridge. They can be carried in your car even for 1 hour or 10 hours, even if it's 40 degrees outside. And this makes a lot of difference in the convenience when you're buying them also, and the convenience when you are storing them at home. And in studies which have been done on the lower quarters, on the poorer people in France, we see that this storage is one of the limits. The fact that fruits and vegetables spoil is actually one of the things which limit their use by these people. And why can we have new products in fruits and vegetables? It is because we now have new technologies available, and we know better how to combine them to have new textures, to have improved taste, to have better snacking possibilities, and also because we know now how to make ingredients from pomace, which could be used in all kinds of different products, and not only fruit products. So this is the data which we have here on the fruit juices. This is here. Whoops. This is the data on the fresh consumptions. These are fresh fruits. These are processed fruits. And these are fruit juices. And you see that there's been a very large increase. This is data up to 2004. Fresh cut is there, but it's a very, very, very small part of the market. And what we've seen in the last few years is that actually things like puree, due to new marketing, have increased quite a lot. And this is what Renard showed us this morning or yesterday about the juice concentrates, and the fact that the juices, and the fact that the best quality juices, the juices which are not from concentrate, the cloudy juices, have met a market in the population. So what we worked in ISAFRUIT is production of cloudy juices, and also looking at what would be called European superfruits, that we could have new juices, not from acai or from any other exotic fruit, but also from things which we are familiar, but which we did not know how to process earlier. And that is what has been done in ISAFRUIT. On one hand, we have worked in apple for the improvement of the raw material, going to more easier to grow apple cultivars, and the improvement of process for production of cloudy juice, in particular from blackcurrants, sour cherry and plum, and I think you could try some of them for lunch. And about new processes for juices, the high hydrostatic pressure processing, this is something which can give interesting products. This is what high hydrostatic pressure is about. That is that the juices, instead of being heated, are compressed for a very high pressure. What is the result of that? High pressure processing is very good at inactivating living microorganisms. It's not as good at inactivating enzymes, as we were just told. So we see here that we have in this trial in the high pressure processed smoothies, the microorganisms have been eliminated below the limit of detection. But what we see is that the polyphenols decrease compared to the pasteurized juice here, and the smoothies thin over time. This is because the enzymes have not been completely inactivated. And I think if we're going to go to a product which will be acceptable for a long time, we should have maybe some involvement of temperature. I mean, more than 10 years ago, we've already been working on high-pressure processed juices, and we had a problem with the stability. The juices were absolutely delicious, but they separated, and that was not pretty to look at. And this is, I think, part of the reason why high pH juices have not found a very good market yet. But now the industrial machines are available, which they were not 10 years ago. We have worked also quite a lot on new dry fruit products, and this is totally different. If you're talking about dry fruit products, we're thinking about things which are going to be about snacking, about replacing things like chocolate bars. Well, you've had a chance to try some of the dried sour cherries, which are my favorite. The problem we have with dry fruit is that they don't necessarily have a very good image. For a lot of people, they are old-fashioned. And so there has been within ISAFRUIT a whole series of work devoted to finding out what can make dried fruit products interesting for the consumers. And this, again, as we saw for the fresh apples and peaches, the opinions will vary depending on the European country. And this means that indeed the market has to be researched carefully beforehand. So dry fruit for snacking. We know now how to combine drying technologies to have different textures and good preservation of color through impregnation. Impregnation also helps to eliminate excessive sourness. It can allow inclusion of prebiotics, of natural sugars, of fructooligosaccharides. And the production conditions can be manipulated to obtain a crispy, non-sticky texture, or on the opposite, a very sweet and a sweet-like texture. And they have a pleasant color and freshness. And these products are the ones which you've already seen. They were attempted with apple, sour cherry, and blackcurrants. What we had to try, I think, was impregnated with decolored apple juice, I think, I'm not sure. And they have been presented to consumers, and they have usually had fairly good responses.